forecast first. Sponsored by Matex Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing.
Take a look at these winds that are out there tonight. Still gusting to 30 miles an hour in Decatur. We have a cold front. See where all these arrows kind of come together as one? It's an area of low pressure and a front right through here. And that front is going to bring much cooler air. It still feels pretty good. I mean, it's 63 in Lincoln right now, 61 in Decatur. But that colder air knocking on the doorstep here for sure. Showers well to our north. We have generally clear skies and a cool start to the morning with temperatures that are going to be back down into the low 40s. All right, we're going to come back and talk about a big blast of cold air when that arrives. Coming up, WCIA 3 News starts right now.
Now from WCIA 3 News.
The entire negotiation process has gone very slow.
And tonight, it stalled. What that means for teaching assistants in one school district. One group of students at the U of I is trying to define anti-Semitism. But another group on campus says no one asked them, and now they're furious. And a disease took his voice, but technology helped give it back. One man is now able to communicate.
You're watching your local news leader. This is WCIA 3 News at 10.
What a slap in the face.
Teaching assistants in Decatur are furious after another failed negotiation with the school board. Good evening, I'm Paul Cicchini. Jessica's off tonight. Dozens of TAs are planning to strike Tuesday because after tonight, they say they have little hope for a fair deal before then. A bargaining session lasted less than an hour. The union says when they walked in, they were stonewalled by the district. WCIA 3's Emily Braun is here. So, Emily, what happens next?
Paul, there can still be another bargaining session between now and then. Both sides say they want that, but the union president told me there's not one set yet. What the district is offering now is far from what union members hope for.
What do we want? When do we want it?
Dozens of teaching assistant union members formed a circle, marching, chanting, drumming, and holding picket signs high. Meanwhile, their leader, Paula Busboom, was inside, hoping to hammer out a fair contract with the school board.
The entire negotiation process has gone very slow. What do we want? A fair contract!
As the meeting started, union members formed another circle, joining hands, praying this would be the night to meet in the middle. Instead, they were met with adversity.
I would probably say that right now the cards are probably stacked against us.
Busboom walked out after only about 15 minutes, saying the school board wouldn't budge on health insurance coverage, so prepare for a strike. That announcement brought some members of the crowd, like Jennifer Parsano, to tears.
You can go into any building at least a half an hour before school starts, and you will find TAs there giving of their time.
But she says they're barely taking home enough to live on.
Shock. And there are some people in that building that have been teachers. They've been in the classroom, and obviously they've forgotten where they came from. I'm going to tell you, I raised 3 kids working for this district. I lived out of my car to make sure I provided for my kids.
School board members and other people from the district walked out with the hope of coming back to the bargaining table. Their plan is to keep negotiation sessions going, especially for the kids' sake.
I think the only other comment we have is we hope that the teaching assistants don't go on strike. That would be very harmful to the students. We would hope the teaching assistants would not do that to the students.
But Parsano says if it weren't for those students, they wouldn't be here.
Those kids are our kids. I'm with those kids as long, if not more than my own kids.
A lot of the concern about this revolves around how TA's striking affects kids in special education. I spoke to a parent about this on the phone. She has 2 children with autism, and both are nonverbal. She says this is devastating. She says it's going to affect the kids greatly because they rely on routine. She says after this, it seems like the school board doesn't care about the kids this affects. Paul?
Yeah, I'm sure it's going to take some parents speaking up to get this resolved. Emily, thanks. Now, teaching assistants are planning a sign-making party Friday. Again, the plan is to strike Tuesday again. And however, the board and the union do still have until Tuesday to hammer out a deal. As of now, there's not another bargaining session scheduled. Now, we do have some information about the timeline and the state of negotiations at WCIA.com. Hundreds of Jewish students at the U of I are protesting tonight. They say their input wasn't included in the drafting of what anti-Semitism means at the university. Tonight, the student government votes on how to define anti-Semitism as a student body. But Jewish students on campus say no major Jewish student groups or organizations were asked about what that definition should look like. Hundreds protested by walking out of the student government meeting tonight.
We are not here to negotiate the definition of anti-Semitism. We are not here to let anyone other than members of our community define what makes me and what makes everyone on this campus that is Jewish feel unsafe and unheard and unwelcome, and that's something that is a Jewish right.
A student senator who helped draft the definition says they did consult Jewish students. He says they understand it's hard to define the hatred against a group of people because it can be felt in many ways. There will be a forum tomorrow on how to prevent or respond to hate crimes in places of worship. The Protecting Places of Worship Forum will be from 1 to 4:30 at Sinai Temple on Windsor Road in Champaign. Law enforcement and safety experts will give safety tips to faith-based leaders and members of the community. The trial's underway for a man accused of a murder on Halloween 2 years ago in Decatur. 22-year-old Quantravis Richardson is accused of shooting and killing 2 men. Investigators say Richardson had been drinking. They also say he was angry and took that out on 2 men who had nothing to do with him. A man wanted for a shooting in Champaign is back in Champaign County. Jerry Exum surrendered to police in Indianapolis. Investigators say he shot 2 men earlier this month. Both of them are expected to survive. Authorities arrested a man wanted for sexually assaulting 2 girls in April. Romeo Andres is in custody. He'd been on the run since May. Both victims are under the age of 13. Andres pleaded not guilty. He'll be back in court in December. We have an update from 6. We told you a woman who was wrongly imprisoned for 17 years spoke at UIS today. Tonight, she spoke to future police. Christine Bunch was convicted of arson and the murder of her 3-year-old son after he died when their home caught fire in the 90s. She was exonerated in 2012. Bunch spoke to cadets at the Police Training Institute at the U of I. She wants to help law enforcement avoid wrongful convictions in the future. Those there say it's important for cadets to hear this.
Sometimes mistakes are made, and we just want to make them aware of the kinds of issues that can potentially bring about those mistakes so that hopefully they can avoid it.
What we want to get across to the recruits is that it's important for us to do the job in the right way, do the best practices, so that we don't make that mistake and are contributing to someone getting convicted of a crime they didn't commit.
Dozens of cadets attended the event. The Danville Police Department is in the strategic phase of setting up 3 special units. The first is POP, or Problem-Oriented Policing. This group will work on issues or challenges facing the city. The second is for community housing. These officers will help build relationships with people in public housing and housing across the city. The third will focus on traffic enforcement. Police say they've had units similar to these in the past.
Our primary function is to mitigate different challenges and combat any type of crime issues that our city has. Again, this is not a new idea or a new philosophy in policing. What it is for us, it's specializing our resources.
They're hoping these units will reduce crime rates and foster relationships in the community. One police chief says his department doesn't have enough officers. Jason Taylor says staffing is lower than it's been in almost 50 years in Mattoon. He believes that's directly tied to the city employing too many firefighters. The police department has 35 police officers compared to 30 firefighters. For perspective, the police department handled more than 35,000 calls in 2018. The fire department handled 2,700.
This city does not have a shortage of resources. In my view, we have a massive misallocation of resources, and that is what I believe. We don't have enough cops on the street day in and day out. 4 simply isn't enough anymore. Our society and our city has changed.
City's negotiating with the fire department. They started in January 2018. They're trying to find a way to cut spending. City leaders say they're trying to find a way to keep the police department as is, but they may be forced to make cuts there as well. New at 10, one mayor is talking about his city's future. We sat down with the Rantoul mayor, Charles Smith, today. He discussed matters affecting the city, including a need for housing. He says Rantoul has a lot to offer, but needs someone to come in and build.
We have a shortage of homes in Rantoul, and we need to be developing housing residential areas and a new housing range for people to buy, because most of our homes are saturated now, and we don't have any homes really available to people for people to purchase.
To watch our entire interview with Smith, we have it on our website, WCIA.com. People in Tilton may see changes to their sewer bills. The board voted to raise the rates. It will go up about $5 on the base rate and another $1 on the use rate. The plant was built decades ago and has been deteriorating. The sewer rate increase will help them get money to fix the problem.
The sewer plant's not self-efficient. It's not running itself income-wise. And we have to have a self-efficient system to get loans from the Illinois EPA.
People will notice a change in rates starting the 1st of next year. Students at one school have something to smile about each morning. We'll tell you who greets them in the halls. Plus, it's a chance for one man to speak again. We'll tell you what gave him back his voice. And 50 years is a long time, especially in a sport. How a seasoned veteran is helping one team.